we're about to take a brief detour from tragedy into comedy. See, Balch has a habit of posting support for far-right groups on Twitter and Facebook.
Wait, how's this guy associated with Kyle? How's he?
He met him there that night. He was there that night.
He was just there.
Yeah.
That's the rate of.
Okay,
he met him on the street, evidently.
Make the situation more dangerous. Rittenhouse at some point meets up with a group of people, including Ryan Balch, and just this part. We're about to take a brief detour from tragedy into comedy. See, Balch has a habit of posting support for far-right groups on Twitter and Facebook. The Southern Poverty Law Center reports, on Facebook and on Twitter, Balch referenced the far-right Boogaloo movement. I pause here to mention the Boogaloo movement are a far-right militia movement who believe a second civil war is imminent, hence the name. It's like Civil War II Electric Boogaloo, because everything is like this now. Even our hate groups are irony poisoned. That's just the world, and it's exhausting. Balch retweeted white nationalist Richard Spencer and tweeted a link to a website hosting a Nazi propaganda video cut with Hitler speeches.
See, Kyle Rittenhouse forgot to wear his Google Glass, that when you look at the guy's face, a little pop-up comes up and says, oh, yes, this guy posts far-right propaganda on the internet.
That's right.
Avoid.
Kyle Rittenhouse forgot to fly into the future to buy the Minority Report style Google Glass that when you look at someone, it shows their face and it shows all their contentious internet postings, and there shows their social credit score and how much of a Nazi they are.
Well, so this is why we need the social credit score, right?
So since Kyle Rittenhouse didn't fly to the future and get his high-tech magic glasses that he could see a random person on the street and say, this guy has promoted Nazi stuff, that means that Kyle's basically a Nazi himself.
They caught him like standing next to this guy in a video.
Yep.
It's like, look, they're on the same side of the street.
Balch also used Twitter to troll Parkland mass shooting victims and a gun control supporting rabbi while using esoteric anti-Semitic slang. Balch confirmed to Hate Watch that he had operated these social media accounts.
See, this is how you know he's stretching. Oh, he's grasping for straws. He's reaching for anything he can. Stretch Armstrong over here. He's stretching so wide. He's like, I have nothing on Kyle Rittenhouse. I have nothing new to add to the story. What am I going to do? I know. Let me show all these people that are vaguely associated, the 6 degrees of separation. Let me say, look at all these bad people who are sort of maybe in the same planet as Kyle Rittenhouse. This somehow proves that he's the bad man.
Yeah. Guilt by association. That's like their
part.
Only technique.
Yeah,
that's all they have is guilt by association.
That's all.
So sad. So sad.
Well, they have that in lying and just being stupid and wrong. So.
Yeah.
One of many tools.
To be clear, the funny part.
How are you classifying being stupid as a tool? Oh, I guess you're right. It is kind of.
He's using his stupidity to make money on YouTube. Okay, so it's a tool. This video has 100,000 views.
God, I wish I could be this stupid.
100,000 stupid morons watch this video and
we need to dial up our stupid factor a bit more.
We do.
Why are we here? Why are we like fact checking this?
I try.
Why can't we just make up lies?
I make up the silly voices, Adam. I try to do it. I'm a stupid. I'm a stupid man. Okay. I don't know things.
This seems vaguely racist to me.
I don't even know what kind of accent that is. So you can, if you think it's racist, you're projecting it. You're projecting it yourself.
I'm stupid too. I make up lies for money.
I see. You just sound like you're doing Borat. So and as we learned from
like you're doing Jar Jar Binks.
I felt like I was doing like an Italian Jar Jar Binks, but as we learned from Borat and from Lindsay Ellis and all these people, it's totally okay to mock Eastern European people because they're like maybe sort of vaguely white.
Did you watch that new Borat movie? Because I thought it was really funny.
Oh, I don't think I have whatever it's on. Isn't it on something?
I'm not sure what. It might be Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime or something. Yeah.
I thought it was really funny, and I actually didn't think that it was too hard on conservatives. Like I thought they actually gave conservatives a fair shake. Yeah. He shacks up with these guys. Spoiler alert if you're gonna watch it, but he gets these two, and I don't know if they're actors or what. Maybe they are actors, but he gets these two guys who are obviously like Hillary hating conservatives to let him crash at their house for like 3 weeks. I'm like, how can you Like, how can you be down on conservatives when they're letting this guy who's playing the minority immigrant, right? They invite him into their home.
Right. Yeah, but he's white. So,
it's very not. Well, I mean, he looks like Iranian in the movie.
Well, Iranians are technically the true Aryans, so they
bond over hating on Hillary. It's so funny. It is so funny. It is so funny.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's funny.
Is that when asked Balch about this, he claimed that he was, get this, infiltrating the far right for some reason. His evidence of this? An ableist Nazi mocking webpage on Facebook that there's no evidence he could provide.
So some guy, just so you guys can keep up on the story, some guy with absolutely no association to Kyle Rittenhouse, standing next to him in one of these videos, claims to have Thought Slime is claiming he has an association with the alt-right. And the guy is claiming that he was trying to infiltrate the alt-right for journalistic reasons.
Who knows? That does sound silly, but who knows? It
does sound silly, but it's completely untethered to the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse has anything to do with this guy.
This has nothing to do with
Derek.
Yeah.
This isn't Derek Black. This isn't the guy that bought him the gun. This isn't his best friend who he was hanging out with. Like, why aren't you digging into Derek Black's background? I'm curious.
This was just a guy that was also there that night.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So, and
at the peaceful riot, another guy that was there.
Right. Greg, son of Craig or Krieg, for $5 says, so it's fine to bring up hindsight. Why don't we bring up the people he shot's background? Yeah. Isn't it interesting that he's like, look at the background of all these people that are not Kyle Rittenhouse, or somehow vaguely 6 degrees separated associated with Kyle Rittenhouse. And yet, do you think Thought Slime's going to spend 2 seconds of this video going to the background of any of the people he shot? Like Rosenbaum?
No.
Nope.
Of course not. That would ruin my whole narrative, Sitch. Yeah. I just gotta keep the narrative.
And it's funny because their whole defense is, well, Kyle shouldn't have been there that night. Well, I don't know. Should the guy who was convicted, well, not convicted, but was, got
OD'd
arrested
at the McD's?
Right. The guy who was arrested for body slamming his girlfriend or his fiance, making her bleed and causing visible damage, who got arrested for that, then ODs and maybe tries to kill himself in the parking lot of a McDonald's, is in a coma. This guy's in a coma for like, I don't remember. Do you remember? It was like 3 or 4 days.
Earlier that day.
Yeah, he's in a coma. And then, well, no, he's in a coma. Then he wakes up from the coma. They transfer him to some drug rehab center for a couple of days. And then the day he's released from the drug rehab center, he goes back to his fiance who he body slammed, and he can't spend the night with her because the court says they're not allowed to be together. He's not allowed to come in like certain distance of her. So she specifically tells her fiance, her crazy drug
what were her last words to him?
Yeah, says, don't go downtown. There's a protest going on and it's dangerous. So what does he do? He goes to the fucking place that she specifically tells him not to go because there's a riot protest going on and it's dangerous, and he acts like a fucking lunatic. But no, he has no culpability, no responsibility for anything. It's all on Kyle's shoulders.
What inspired him to go down there? Did he see the Facebook Kenosha Guard thing on InfoWars? Is that why he went down there?
You know what would be the funniest thing? Like, if you looked into this guy, if you looked in Rosenbaum's past to find out that he's like super racist, like he doesn't give a fuck about any of this shit. He just wanted to start trouble. He just wanted to die. So who knows? But
he did attempt suicide like a week earlier.
That's true. That's true. And he was telling people to shoot him. So
yes. Yeah.
None
of that is in here.
No.
He was in any way involved with. That's why he had to make fun of mass shooting victims and harass a rabbi with anti-Semitic slang for the...
See, this is what's so insidious about this stuff, is that he I mean, he's talking about a completely different guy, but these people are half paying attention while they're playing video games, and they're thinking, "Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse did all this stuff."
Right. That's a good point. I
It's
mean, I
so
always have to pay
bad.
attention while playing video games when I listen to YouTube videos, so that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. I get bored. I mean, I'm playing Titanfall 2. I'm kicking ass in my mech suit. I'm ripping it up. I'm marching around not knowing which way to go.
Yep.
Memes. Hate Watch asked him why he used his real name in these accounts, and Balch claims it was because at the time, Twitter had a policy against using pseudonyms, which I don't think I have to tell you has never been true, and even if it were, how would Twitter know whether or not you're using your real name? This is simply incredible. This absolute genius spent most of the day with Rittenhouse, but at some point they were separated before the shootings began, which brings us neatly back to tragedy.
Did he spend most of the day with Rittenhouse?
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. That's sort of citation. I mean, I guess if he was in this group of people protecting the gas station or whatever they're protecting, and Kyle's there. Well, first of all, it's not even the day because this was at night. You know,
so
like I don't know.
So he was at Kyle Rittenhouse's job at the YMCA. Like,
yeah, I don't think he was at his
spent
job.
most of the day with him?
I don't think he was helping Kyle Rittenhouse clean graffiti off the school. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, this is all lost at him. You just gotta say, like, look, here's a bad man. Not only was he like in the same group with Kyle, but they spent all this time together, even if all that time meant that they stood within the vicinity of each other and never interacted and didn't actually know each other, but they stood next to each other, Adam.
All day long.
All day long. Even if it was a couple hours a night, it was all day.